Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So, the PC saga. So you can see my main PC, and I know to some people they'd be like, oh my god, that thing's older than my kids. Yes, it's an old PC. I fully disassembled it, cleaned it all out, and it's working now. But man, was it a saga. So, that white and black Dell Optiplex over there is my backup PC. Yes, the white's supposed to be silver. I thought the silver was ugly, so I masked it off and sprayed it white. Good old refrigerator white. I think it looks fine. And anyway, I moved that PC over to here, you know, because I'm always saying, gotta have a backup, gotta have a backup. Well, by moving that over to here, hooking it up to everything, and yes, that PC, because it's been modified big time, can run all of this. It can't run the fourth monitor because the graphics card only has 3 ports on it. So I've been using that one. And yes, that one's even older than that one. I think that's from like 2013. I say the case is from 2013 because I modified it. My PC buddy Dennis has modified it. The fact that that one's still running when there's one of the two RAM channels dead in it. So if you know about that, it's only running. It's still running 2 sticks of RAM when it should be running 4, but one of the RAM channels is dead. So I moved that over to here while I tore this one completely down, fully deep cleaned everything in, including the power supply, which people freak out about. Yes, you can clean a power supply, you just have to make sure that there's no residual power in it. How do you do that? Well, you turn the button off on the back of it, that, the power button on the back of the power supply, and then you hold down on the button on your computer to turn it on and off. You do that for about 15 seconds, it kills all the power. So I fully cleaned that one, and then I set it up over there and had as many windows running YouTube videos as I possibly could. I think I had 15 windows open, sitting there working his butt off on those 2 monitors, and it ran fine for 2 days. So I bring it back over here. Now, in order for that one to run, and me still have all of my stuff, like here, I will show you all of my stuff that I use on a daily basis. I took the hard drive out of this, put it in there, and when I fired that one up, that Optiplex, I got all my stuff. So then I was like, okay, well, this one was sitting there running with the original hard drive out of that one in it. Yes, I'd love to be able to spend $60, $70 to get 2 like 1 terabyte hard drives that match, so everything is all copacetic. But no, I don't have that money. That's got a 240 gig SSD. That's got a little bitty 120 gig SSD. So all the stuff that I have on this PC, mainly my video editing program, can't fit on there. So anyway, I'm like, all right, I want to bring this back over here. So I do that. I spend all the time plugging it all in. And yes, I know there's still cables everywhere. I'm not one of those guys where it's like, I got to have no cable showing. I don't care. I'm 50 years old. And tell me if you're the type of person that can't have any cables showing, how many times you've had to unmanage all your cables because one of them stopped working. That's my whole thing. So anyway, I switched the hard drives back. I set this up and go to start it up, and then I get an error code of 64. Because as you can see, I have a nice enough motherboard that it's got what's called a debug LED. Great thing to have. I don't know why more motherboards now don't have it. Literally, it'll pop up a 2-digit code. You look it up, and it'll tell you what's going on. Well, it said something about the drive. And I'm like, oh my God, don't tell me that this drive failed. Right when I'm going to be busy doing a whole lot of live streaming for the confirmation hearings and the inauguration and stuff. So I sat there and smoked a cigarette, watched some TikTok. Kind of did the whole woosah thing. And then I'm like, let me try something. So I unplugged the data cable that goes to the hard drive. See, a hard drive has two cables running to it. It's got the power cable, and then it's got the cable that does the data that connects to the motherboard. The power cable hooks to the power supply, for those of you that don't know. So I unplugged the SATA data cable, waited a few seconds, plugged it back in, hit the power button, and she fired right up. I'm like, oh, you finicky bitch. And I know me and my wife have talked about it, that it's time for me to get a new PC. At least one that is built in the last 5 years. Because FYI, everybody, that's an Asus ROG Maximus motherboard. Yeah, a baller motherboard in like 2015. It's running DDR3 RAM. The DDR spec for RAM now is DDR5. So they already stopped doing DDR3, went all the way through DDR4, and now we're on DDR5, and I'm still doing everything that I do with 16 gigs of DDR3 RAM. Now, granted, it's Corsair Vengeance, because everything in that PC, when it was new, was like top tier spec. That's probably why after 10 years later and working its ever loving ass off, it's still running. I don't know how that power supply is still working, considering I was getting all these random shutdowns. And remember, like a week ago, it wouldn't start up. It was dead. It was a big metal and plastic box sitting there. And yes, I had a massive panic attack because that one wasn't sitting there running. That desk had my Christmas tree on it. All that PC stuff over there was shoved in the closet. So I was like, well, let's see if the old Optiplex can do it again. Let's see if it'll fire up again and run everything. And of course, because it's a Dell, and I tell everybody, go get an old Dell. They'll run forever. Why do you think hospitals and stuff use Dell computers? They don't break. Now, granted, out of 100% of them, 10% might break. But that's a Dell Optiplex 9010. Well, at least the case is. I don't know what the motherboard's from. I know it's got an i7 2500 CPU in it. Remember, 2 of the RAM slots are dead. Basically, the RAM channel 1 is dead. That's a 24-inch Dell monitor that my future son-in-law gave to me because I don't know why. He had all the cables to hook it up to his laptop, but he was just like, here, if you want, just take it. So I'm like, all right. That's a 20-inch Dell running vertical. And for those of you wondering why vertical, well, let's see if I go and use that. That's just like a big phone screen. So when you're doing social media or you're reading chat or anything, that works as a big phone screen. And yes, I could do these in vertical also. One of these days I might just totally get a new desk, because this one that I pulled out of a dumpster at our last apartment complex because somebody got evicted. And this is a IKEA countertop that everybody uses as a desk. I was like, score! But yeah, I could turn these monitors vertical, which triggers everybody that's used to sideways monitor until I show them how useful it is, especially when you're live streaming, to run it vertical. But yeah, I've yacked on long enough. We'll see how long. Excuse me. We'll see how long my old terrible beastie runs.